to the July meeting of those with brains in their skulls, functioning brains within their skulls. After a week of listening to what's going on at the Hillary event, it's kind of refreshing to be in this room. I know. Sorry. We'll just tell you what. We'll just say the H word. Okay, the H word. So let's kick this off. We got a lot of stuff to cover tonight. A lot of things going on, and I want to encourage you all to ask questions of things that are going on. We're going to cover some state level politics stuff and cover through some other things, and we're going to get right into the main things of the meeting. Reminders. Once again, we do a lot of stuff here. Probably the most important thing is to recognize those folks who may have been there for the very first time. Is there anyone who's been here for the very first time? I want to welcome you and welcome you. And sir, if I could bother you for a small bit of help, could I bother you for a moment?
I'm going to throw a wire first.
Let me personalize a welcome on behalf of GS2AC, and I would like you to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. All right? Daughters? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I know, before you go, could you tell us a little about your name and what brought you here?
My name is Dennis Young, and I just got back from shooting after about maybe 15 years. I'm a member of Sunnydale Gun Club.
Good.
And good place to shoot. Good place to shoot, right.
The best place to shoot.
Well, there's others.
All right, Mr. Young, thank you much, and I hope to see you at our barbecue. All right, we always start the meeting off with the soapbox. This is your chance to vent your spleen for a minute or two. Minute or two. Did I say minute or two? And tell us what's going on. To begin with, Jan, you had a helper here? No helper showing. So Jan, we'll do him late. Mr. Truslow with a report on gun owners demonstrating their patriotism publicly.
Yeah. So if I wish I had another hand here. Wanted to thank everybody. Yeah, you're going to be my Vanna here and pull this up. We had our first 4th of July Second Amendment marching unit in San Jose's history and have some photographs for everybody. We're going to frame those and put them up. These are our juniors who carried an enormous American flag, including a dog, and the reaction among the 35,000 people was absolutely astounding. We also had a shooting booth using laser pistols and not a single negative comment. We were swamped from the time we opened until we closed. We ran out of literature. We were giving away prizes. We had a lot of new sign-ups in our juniors program, and it could not have gone better. Yesterday, I had a recap with a parade committee. They could not be happier. They want us back next year, and this time, a little tough to see in this, but the National Guard and Army units were just ahead, and they want us to lead the parade next time. So, yeah.
I want to thank you very much, Mr. Truslow, for heading that up. And if anyone would like to assist Mr. Truslow in the future, I have a special project at our barbecue, and I'll need to ask you about that tonight. Second, we have a gentleman here with a report from Southern California regarding a response to Mr. Moonbeam's recent signing of stuff. Sir?
Okay, well, very quick, they required us statewide to be running referendums on all the laws that recently got signed. Okay, we had about 500 people show up at our rally. We're starting to get some coverage. Very quick, I know there's a lot of people, naysayers, that says we need to do a referendum. For those of you who were around in 1998, you might remember a guy named Jeff Metcalf. He fell short by 50,000 signatures on a grassroots against AB 23. back in '98, few of us had cell phones, much less smartphones, on the internet, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We got 10 times the resources today. We got 10 times the technology today. We're going to make a full-on push over the next 45, 60 days to get those signatures, and then deliver a big package up from Sacramento and just say hello, shut down the referendums, force things to the 2018, build on the momentum, and then take Newsom's initiative, and then slice it. And then he'll really think I'm disgusting.
Mr. Schrader, you had a question?
All I want to encourage the folks working the referendums to make sure they have the capability to get people registered to vote, because we're 8 weeks out from that, and we don't have registered voters. They can now vote for the referendum, to sign up for them, or help us throw some of these guys out of office this year, or vote for not them. Okay?
Who?
Not them.
Sorry.
Actually, you can't use names.
Yes, H and O.
Yeah.
That makes, and that can be used two ways.
Right?
We did in the barbecue.
Okay, no problem. Mr. Buford, you had something to tell us about.
Yes. If any of you haven't seen a documentary by D'Souza on Hillary's America, you want to see it. It was rather shocking. It never mentions the word Trump, so it's good for your Republican friends that don't like him. It goes through the history of the Democratic Party. We saw it at the Oak Ridge Mall, but you can see it at Cinelex Theaters. Call now all Cinelex Theaters have. It's the whole history of the Democratic Party. And I should know better, but I didn't know that they were the ones very responsible for forming the KKK.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Of course.
All right.
Hillary.
And you go to the website, it'll tell you where it's playing.
At Cinelex Theaters, and you could go to fandango.com and put your zip code in and find out where the theater is, and then call and see who's playing.
There we go. Okay, moving on to other stuff. I'm going to run through a lot of stuff here real fast. Reminder, the way we support the group is with the gun show, or with the raffles that we do. We have much stuff in the back. If you haven't seen it already, we have a special Second Amendment Foundation Syrah in the basket. You can't get this anywhere else, okay? Bunch of it, we have a chocolate hand grenade, okay?
Don't take it to the airport.
Show it to your local gun control Nazi and see how they react.
FFA approved?
Make them eat it, okay? And if they really like it, they'll be fine. But there's a lot, take advantage of it. The barbecue's coming up, August 20th. Get your tickets now. Okay, Mr. Varner has tickets in the back. If you can't do the barbecue, remember, you can still get 3 chances to win the gun or more, $10. You don't have to be there to win the grand or the H&K. I'm also working on a scope as a third main prize. If you have children or other people, Walther. It's a Walther 22 pistol, and then the grand. If you have people who have not been safety trained, especially kids, get them there. We're going to have an airgun safety range. Mr. Schrader will have his 22 range. You don't pay for these things. We pay for it. Get them there, get them trained. I'll even get the kids a prize. I'll give them a squirt gun. I'll give them a blow gun. I'll give them something. Like, get them there, get them trained. And that includes the adults too. They can get trained too. I'll give them a prize. Well, maybe I'll give them a kielbasa or something. I don't know.
Is that a semi-auto blow gun?
If you put more than one in there, that's true. Okay? But stuff, well, actually it has 3 little darts. So get your tickets now, get to the barbecue. There's stuff to do, tons to eat. Master Chef will be there doing his magic as normal, as well as all the crew to do the cooking. Okay, beyond that, let's move on to the other stuff. Officer committee reports. What?
I'm gonna need some help.
I was going to get to that later, but let's do it now. I need at least 2 more more and preferably 3 bodies to help with the air gun safety range. This is the area where the kids do their training. Don't need a huge amount of time doing it, but he does need some help in there right now, okay? Mr. Peterson, this is the gentleman you were talking to, Vince? Yes. Mr. Peterson, can you help? Mr. Ramos, is there anybody else? Mr. Truslow, you're gonna be busy with your thing. No, you're gonna be busy with your thing, okay? So if there's,
I've got a larger pool that I'm bringing, I'll ask them to.
if they want to shuttle up and help with that, that's fine. I'll give them 2 free barbecue tickets. Cool. Yes, this gentleman here, I need you to help Mr. Truslow
Yes.
with his event.
I have not contacted you yet.
Mr. Truslow, where are you at?
I was late tonight, sorry.
Mr. Truslow, this gentleman here is going to help you with the laser range, okay? So, bottom line, volunteers helps there. While we're on the subject of volunteers, officer committee reports, air gun range, laser range. Friday, we do our massive setup. In the morning, we drag all the gear down to the barbecue area, and then we shuck the corn, put all the drinks on ice, and then get the hell out of there. I have Mr. Walsh, who can't attend to the barbecue, but he is going to help bring his truck into the setup. If you see Mr. Walsh, please give him a pat on the back and say thank you profusely. He doesn't have to do this. He's got other things to do. But it would be very helpful if someone has another truck to help us haul some of the gear down. Mike?
So I also want to point out a key piece of equipment.
Key.
Inventory piece of equipment. Always brought here every year by Vince, the large barbecue.
Yes.
Thank you, Vince.
Actually, Vince brings a barbecue that's supplied for another gentleman. And with that in mind, I'm going to be coming back to you later for a special thank you to this gentleman. Every time I offer him something, he says, no, we got to do something for this guy. That barbecue makes a huge bit of difference in getting everything cooked on a timely fashion. Okay, so we talked all about that. Where is my lady with the shuttle? Where is she at? Don't see her here. She'll be here, okay? The only other big job is that we run a golf cart down to Mr. Schrader's range and drop people off there so they can go shoot. It's much easier to get them down there that way. They can walk back on their own. But getting them down there is the thing. And we provide a shuttle, cool drinks and all this stuff. It's literally, hey, come on in, put them down in the back. I have one person who's going to help. I need a second person to possibly help that out for just an hour or two. Anybody can volunteer for that? Shuttle, yeah, shuttle, getting people down there. Or maybe if you have an extra guy.
No, I thought they were supplying the house first.
No, we do that.
Okay.
But that's a good question. I'll ask them to see if they've got someone that can run it down. Okay. All right, please keep that in mind. We'll need help on that. Okay, meal receipts. If you bought a meal, remember, receipts help us continue to the bank room at no cost. If you didn't turn one up front, give it to me, Mr. Barner in the back. We'll take care of that later. Okay, the governor. What did the I'm sorry. What did the governor sign? He signed the AB 1135, the Gunman and Assault Weapons Ban Bill. Okay, it makes all guns an assault weapon if they're semi-auto, center file, have a detachable magazine, a thumbhole stock, folding stock, or telescoping stock, fast suppressor, second-hand grip, and requires registration. Passed. Gun amended bill to criminalize loaning firearms. Makes it a criminal offense to loan a gun to someone unless you are a licensed firearm dealer or are only loaning it to a close family member. When I handed Mr. Gottlieb Duran to take a picture tonight, technically I violated the law. That's the nature of the law that we've seen passed. Item number 3, expanding assault weapon bill to include bullet, button, semi-auto rifles. We already discussed that. Number 4, ban on all magazines designed to hold more than 10 rounds. This is no grandfathering. Ban. You have to destroy them, get them out of state or something. It's a ban. Third, finally, last 2, expanding the prohibition of threatening letters from the DOJ to gun owners. I'm not worried about that. And then, of course, we all know about the ammo ban, okay? Licensing to actually buy ammo. You can only buy it from certain special licensed people, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It'll be banning internet sales, et cetera, et cetera. Mr. Schrader, or Barner.
I understand after all of this breaking news, there was but wait, there's more. Something about if you're manufacturing a 8%, you have to apply for a serial number. This seems to pass after.
Now, Does that mean it's done deal? The answer is no. There is a gentleman running an anti-gun-mageddon event. Mr. Nicky has already talked about this. There's a flyer up here with a wonderful picture of the governor thingamabobber, Mr. Moonbeam, and there will be a whole process for us getting involved, signing petitions and getting this stopped and fighting it. Each of you must get involved with this. Okay? No belly aching about what's been done. We have to fight it. No belly aching. You got to take action on it. One-on-one basis, face-to-face with people, and say, you got to sign this thing and make it stop. I've got plenty of people in my office who are pissed. It's going to be easy to get their signatures, but we have to go out on that. So don't be surprised if I come to you and tap you on the shoulder and say, I need this done. There's going to be ways to donate money to this group so they can get this stuff done, and get this petition, get it on referendum, but we have got to stop it now. When this got signed, I got very pissed, and I said, no more Mr. Nice Guy. And I hope you have the same attitude, because the bottom line is they want to put each and every one of you in jail. They want to put you in jail. I don't care what their excuse is. They want to put you in jail. They want you dead at the hands of a criminal. That's how serious this has become. No more. No more. Now, how many of you know tonight a gentleman that I disparaged in glowing terms last meeting, running for public office, Mr. Honda, has decided to schedule an anti-gun event of his own? Tonight. Okay, we have a couple people over there. I'm hoping, yeah, there you go. I'm hoping to get a call from someone with a live report, okay? The question was made, do you think they're scheduling that just to conflict with our meeting? I said, probably not. I don't know that we think of this much as a threat. However, I now find out that our next meeting, there's another anti-gun event being scheduled. So the trend is they may actually be scared to shit of us. Thank you. I like that. And let's really give them a reason to be afraid. Let's really give them a reason to be afraid. Now, beyond that, how many of you saw the thing about Mr. O'Keefe and his video with the member of the Democratic National Committee talking about code words that are just a way of getting people to agree for gun control? Guess what? Here in town, we have a gentleman, Mr. Don Veith of Sunnydale. He was one of the people involved with regulations C, the Reg C? Okay, Measure C. And if you haven't seen it already, he's now doing work against the San Jose City Council with getting people to vote City Council. Now remember, that whole video was about using words like common sense, gun laws, safety for our kids. Well, guess what he's asking people to do? He's asking them to send out sample letters. And they include verbiage as examples that include things like the appalling prevalence of gun violence in our community. Does anyone know how many people were shot with guns in San Jose last year?
Why other than
It's not 2 hands worth. Not 2 hands worth. Okay? Our fellow citizens are suffering painful losses and injuries caused by the careless use of far too easily accessible guns. Really? Are people getting shot being shot because someone left a gun laying on the street? Or is this gangbangers, etc.? The majority of California favor sensible and sane gun regulations. Okay? Code words? I'm afraid. Please make our streets safer. I want our children to feel safe. We want to feel safe in our streets, in our schools, in our shopping malls, our parks, etc., etc. O'Keefe had the lady admit it, and there's local proof of what's going on. Okay? We have an election coming up, runoff election, San Jose City Council. We have Mr. Brown versus Mr. I can't remember his name now. We need to push Mr. Brown because I know Mr. Brown, he's not an anti-gunner. and we need to put a pinch on this. We also need to punch a pinch on the Mr. Licardo. You may remember Mr. Licardo. He's the gentleman that didn't say anything when the chief, Mr. LaRaza, chief of police, didn't do anything when they had the riots in downtown San Jose against the Trump. It's all in video. Didn't do a damn thing. Didn't lift a finger. Okay. The fix is into those people, and they need to be brought to task. Enough of that. Okay. Once again, I'll say it once again. If you know anybody who is not registered to vote, slap them. Make them register to vote. I don't care what they vote register as. If they're done over, especially second, slap them, get them to register to vote. No excuses. And they gotta vote. If you have to drive them to the poll on the day of election, get them to vote. We don't vote, we lose. Okay? And we've already seen what happens when the knuckleheads in power get authority. Barbecue tickets, we already talked about. Win it around. We have the Walther, Scope, et cetera, make sure you get your tickets. Okay, enough of me for the President's report. There are two people not here. Madam Secretary Carolyn Seidel, she's not feeling well. Mr. Baker is one of our sneaky guys over there at the Hondo event who hopefully will call in with a live report. So let's move right on into Mr. Vice President Brad Schaefer.
Well, I'm going to keep it short. Everything else I'll want to say real quick. But getting to Mark's point about the register to vote, I see some people here that we don't see very often, and so I want to reiterate for them that it's not just you that needs to vote. You need to get all of your young friends and anybody that you know that owns a gun. You've got to get them. You've got to twist their arm. You've got to get out and vote. If they don't like Trump, they say, all right, well, don't vote for Trump. You got to vote for the rest of the down tickets. You've got to get out there. You've got to vote. You've got to get your friends to vote. You've got to spread the word.
Against H.
You do everything you can. Like Mr. Schrader says, it's just if all the gun owners in California voted, we'd own this state. We'd own the legislature. We've got to get people motivated, and so please, if you haven't heard this before, hear it again. You got to get out, and you got to get your friends to get out and vote. Again, we haven't seen a lot of people for a while, so I'll push the bags again. We've got our Whole Foods bags here. Everybody at Whole Foods loves these Gun Saves Lives bags. They're only $1. I've got a whole bunch of them. I'm trying to get rid of them, so if you need any, come see me, or, well, Mike's busy back there, but Mike can handle it. Just, they're $1 a piece, buy as many as you like. We got plenty, and I'm going to turn it back over to Mark.
They also make good book bags for kids.
Good book bags for kids at school, yes, that's it. They'll love that.
Wouldn't that be a riot? A bunch of kids show up with those bags in their books? Well, that would be funny. Funny as hell. Okay, Mr. Fred, do you have a report? Yeah. Webmaster Fred Hoot.
Well, I have somebody to help that I'm going to be training not this Saturday, but the following Saturday. And I'd like one other person who can volunteer to help out with the website. It's easy. If you can use Word and Microsoft, you can keep track of it. By the way, I took a couple of those and I was shopping, and I actually went into Whole Foods. And I went to the cashier to check out, and he said, "Cool." So I gave it to him. Since our last meeting, I have 26 people that have got to register to vote that own firearms. And they will vote. One of them said, "Well, I don't want to vote for president." I says, "It's not about the president. It's about the Supreme Court. Won't last you 8 years. That'll last you a couple of generations." Okay, on the website, we had an article, "Gun Owners Are to Blame for Draconian Anti-Gun Laws," signed by Governor Brown. How many people read that? One. Shame on you. It was on our website. Top there.
You wrote it, right?
I wrote it. I wrote it after the first group of stuff that was signed by Governor Brown. And I'm blaming the gun owners. Now, we have a trifold back there. I want to see everybody who hasn't read it to either go to the website or pick up the trifold. The trifold is a little, it's a couple words shorter, so it fit on the page.
There's only 20, but if they email us, we'll get them without.
Email us,
Print them out.
we'll send them out to you. We'll bring some more to the next meeting. Go onto the website and you can read it. Please. And get people to vote.
Thank you, Fred. Okay, let us jump into the main stuff. Now, there are very few people, by the way, articles, please review these articles here. Supporting the SAF, go to Amazon if you're buying stuff. Make sure you support them when you purchase. Okay, it's a simple way. You don't pay any extra for what you bought, and it goes to a worthy cause. Article here about Justice Ginsburg, in one of her more lucid moments, admitted that she's really planning to overturn Heller. Why do you think she supports Hitler? I'm sorry, H. Mr. Obama and his lies. Wonderful picture, an appropriate picture for that. How the groups seek to camouflage their infringements. Once again, getting back to code words like data tested, common sense, etc. Now, Finland. Most people think of Finland as a pretty gun-friendly state. Well, here's a guy, 3 people broke into his home, he defended himself with a knife, chased him off, now he's going to jail for 4 years for use of excessive force. They were armed with guns. And guess what? That's the attitude that these people have against us. We got a policy wonk who's whining because the CDC hasn't launched a comprehensive gun study. The answer they haven't done that is because the CDC doesn't publish propaganda, they publish statistics. Interesting little piece. We got a guy out of Los Angeles, LA Times published. And here's his pretext. Remember that dribble that the only thing that stops a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun? Well, he says that's baloney. His proof text? Police officers getting shot by somebody in assassinate. This guy is serious about his support. And he goes on to state in this article that the legislation just passed by the government is actually good for protecting our Second Amendment rights. It's the kind of people we're dealing with here, and you cannot give them the time of day. Go after them, stop them.